Yes, no.
Yes, Vijay, we can hear you.
Yes,
Uh, so, Ahit, can you please wake your environment as quick as possible because I see it's in sleep now, and
uh,
yeah, we are
Vijay, I'm
working on that.
outside,
And
but
uh,
my system
do
is not working.
do one thing. You ping your Gmail and password to me quick,
Okay.
little quick in the WhatsApp. You can ping. Okay. In the last class, we are discussing about the transform map gains. Anyone having any doubts in the transform map? So we covered a few things in transform map, like I mean, few things in the import sets. That is like how to load the data into service now. You can expect the data in different formats, but mostly in the Excel only, not in other formats. Mostly in the Excel. So first we will create a table, then we'll load the data into the table. Once the data got loaded, we will use a concept known as transform map. Then we can, using transform map, you can map the fields from the source table to the target table and we'll transfer the data. Also, we have a unique attribute known as collace. What this collace will do, it will check whether the data from the source field exists in the target field. If it exists, it will update the record rather than creating a new record. Okay. Anyone having any doubts here? Yes, no. Okay, let me log into his environment quickly because I need his environment today. Just 1 second. Huh? Sorry, 1 second. Yes, you're asking, do we have the threshold that we can load this much data only for the first time? It's better we do it before 1 lakh. I mean, each time you load the data, it should be 1 lakh because when you're creating a transform map, I didn't told you the scripting part in transform map. We have a server side code. You can write it that is on before, on after. There are some 7 types of scriptings, but mostly people will be using at least 2 types of scripting there. So how that transform map will work? Let's say there. Imagine there are 1 lakh records. The process is same whether you write 1 lakh records or one record or 10 records. It won't change. Okay. So how it will work? For each and every record, the script will run one time. Each and every record. Okay. So for each and every record, if the script is running for one time, and also once the record got inserted, there also in the back end there are if any scripts on the not in the transform map in the back end if there are any scripts, uh, those scripts will also execute. So it depends how complex is your process. Actually, yeah. Yes. So better you do it before under 1 lakh or something like that. Maybe 98,000 something like that. You can split it accordingly. It's not like ServiceNow can't handle. It depends how complex is your process actually. Hmm. You won't expect this. No, you won't expect these kind of things. So that's fine. But there is one thing I forgot to tell you on the day, that is choice action. Let me tell you what is a choice action. Let me share my screen. I hope this instance is not waked yet, but in the meanwhile, I can help you with the choice actions. So let's imagine in this, what are the choice fields we have? That is batch, or the reference fields we have. That is student is a reference field. Let me. The instance is not wait yet. I'm making it. Let it wait. Let us wait. But in the meanwhile, instead of wasting the time, let's keep. I have one more environment. It's not Swahit environment. My environment. Let me try to open any table. Let's say incidentally. So let's pay some attention here. So we have trainee name. I mean student. Student is nothing but a trainee name. That is a reference field to the user table. Okay. That is a reference field to the user table, similar to like this. Let's imagine you are not giving a student who is not available in the user table. Let's say in the user table there is no such person known as XYZ, and you are giving XYZ here, right? Then what will happen? Then what system will do? Okay, that is one thing. Or let's say there is a choice here, batch 21 to 25. The highest choices are batch 21 to 25. We don't have a choice known as 26 to 30 actually in the system. Then what will happen? Then what might happen actually if you try to load the data? So what happens? It will create a record in this table. See, let's imagine we are giving, instead of able tutor, I'm giving XYZ. So what is the expected behavior it will do? It will simply create a foreign record. Foreign record means which table it is referring? It is referring to the user table. Okay. In the user table, it will create a new record with the name XYZ or user ID XYZ. Okay. We should not allow the user to do that actually. If there is no such record available in the user table, let's say this is referring to user table, we have Abraham Lincoln, okay, it can insert. We have Angelo something, we can insert. But there is no such person known as XYZ. We should able to insert the record, but we should not allow the user to insert this XYZ in the user table because it is referring to the user table. Let it wake, then we can discuss it clearly. I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you what I mean. So let's go to transform. So on Friday, I mean on Saturday, we created a transform map. Type transform map under system inputs. So let's go to transform maps. This is the transform map that we have created. So in this transform map, we have student that is referring to trainee. I mean mapping to trainee. Let's open the snow batches table also quickly for you to understand. Let me know if you didn't understood, guys. Everyone, it's not one person is responding and other people can simply sit like that. It's not like that. Let me open this file. SMB005. So imagine this tiny name. It is referring to the user table. You can see it is referring to the user table. It is referring to the user table. So what I'm giving XYZ. I'm giving XYZ here. And there is a in SNB005. And in SNB007, I'm giving wantedly, let's say 26 till 30. Okay. So there is no such user known as XYZ. First thing. See, if I click on this magnifying glass, it is referring to the user table. If you type the name XYZ, there is no such person exists actually with the name XYZ. Or with the user ID also XYZ, there is no such person exists. So there are 630 records you can see. You can remember this count. Okay, because I'm mapping it to the trainee. Student is nothing but it is a going to trainee and it's a reference field. And in the batch also we have 21 to 25. We don't have 26 to 30 actually, right? Batch 26 to 30 doesn't exist. What happens if I try to load this data now? Because it's an incorrect data. If it is a string field, that's fine, but it's not a string field, it's a reference field and it's a choice field. Let's try to import this data. So what happens in the transform map, these fields are there, right? You can open any of these fields. I can open any of this field mapping. I can click on this field. We have a field known as we will be redirected here. You can also map it like this. You can view the source field, you can view the target field here, the same thing. Okay, once the mapping is done, I can click on this. We have a concept known as choice action. There are three choice actions actually: create, ignore, and reject. It will be by defaultly set to create. Create means, let's say if this is a foreign record. Foreign record means, let's say for example, we don't have such person known as XYZ. It will automatically create that data in that respective table. Okay. Ignore. What this ignore will do, if the record is not found, let's say if there is no such person known as XYZ in the user table, I'm searching for XYZ here, it's not found actually. There is no such record known as XYZ in the user table. Okay, if that choice action is create, it will create in the user table. It will create that entry. If it is ignore, it won't allow you to create, but it will allow you to insert the record or update the record. But it won't allow you to, create a record in the trainee name. I mean, the user table. Okay. Reject means what it will do. It won't allow you to insert the record or update the record only. SNB005. It won't allow you to insert or update that changes. Let's do one thing. It might be confusing for you first. I don't want to hurry up or rush up. Let's let's load this data now. Let's load this data now. You see, the changes are anyway. These will update only. It won't allow you to insert because of collace. The student is XYZ. Batch is 26 to 30 in 7. Okay, we don't have those 26 to 30 available in the system. You can see there is no 26 to 30. We have highest 21 to 25. Okay, there is no XYZ in the user table. Let's try to load this data now. How to load the data? Anyone remember by any chance or no? Search for load data under system import sets menu. Go to load data. Don't create a table. We already created it on that day. Select the existing table. Choose the Excel sheet. Snow batch 15. Uh, I forgot it. One second. The sheet is 2. Header row is 3. Okay. Sheet is 2. Header row is 3. I hope this is clear for everyone. Why I'm giving 2 and why I'm giving 3 here. In which sheet my data is there. In which row my fields are there in that sheet. Okay. Yes. No. The
Yes,
data got loaded. We can go to the loaded data. You can see just to verify got loaded or not. I told you every time you load it. See, I loaded it 3 times actually. That's why 3 times I set number got created. This is the first time it got created. I set 1. Let me arrange it in an order though. See, this is the first time I loaded 3 records. Again next time 3 records. Now this one 3 records. Every time you load, it will create a new I set 0. I'll open one record. Just I don't want to do all the records. Student as XYZ. It got loaded. The next step is to run the transform. That's it. Nothing else. Only for the first time you create a table and create the transform map. If you want to do any changes, go to transform map and do the changes. Let's try to update the hit the data. Let's go to transform history. Yeah, there are total 3. 2 got updated, 1 got ignored. Why this 1 got ignored? Ignored means there is no error. See, This record is having an update. I'm changing the trainee student, that is trainee from able tutor to XYZ. This record is also having an update. I'm changing the batch 21 to 25 to batch 26 to 30. But in this record, I'm not doing anything. When it compare the source table data with the target table data, there is no change actually to update, right? It is as it is. How the data was there previously, it is there now also. It was in the same way. There is no change. So that's why it got ignored. It's not error, guys. It got ignored because there is no change there. Okay. Yeah. No. Are you guys understanding it or not? Hello. What do you understand by ignored? Can you tell me why this record got ignored? No, you guys didn't understand. Anyone else? Do you know why it got ignored? If you don't understand, tell me. Why you were simply sitting like that?
We didn't updated anything. That's why it's got ignored.
Correct. We didn't updated anything there. It got ignored. See, we are updating this record. We are updating this record. So that's why you can see two updates. Two updates. There are total three records. These are the three records. 5, 6, 7. In that two got updated. Two got updated means this got updated and this got updated. What are the update? Because the student name was able tutor initially, I'm changing it to XYZ. And batch was batch 21 to 25 initially, and I'm changing to batch 26 to 30. This one, there is no update actually. There is no change here. So that's the reason it got ignored. Now, is it clear? No. Now, let's go here, refresh the page. You can see now SNB 005, SNB 007. Yeah, you can see 5 and 7. Student is XYZ, batch is 26 to 30. So here there are two things. Let me open it. These two records in new tab. You see, there is no such trainee name known as XYZ. Previously, when I click on this reference field, how many records are there? Do you remember? 630. I told you to remember. Now you see 631. It created a record. It created a dummy record, which is a faulty record, junk record, because of the import set load. Normally, when you are loading the data into service now, okay, there might be this kind of issue. What happens? The customer might give you a faulty data which was not there in service. Yeah, are you getting? No. So this XYZ was never existing in the user table initially. Yes or no? But it created a record in user table actually. Also, if you come here, there is no such choice known as batch 26 to 30 earlier. We observed it was only till 21 to 25. It created a record actually. It created a choice now. Yes? No? You need to prevent these kind of things. Are you understanding how it got created? Because there is no such data, it will create a data. Why it will create? Because of this choice action. When you open this, for the choice fields and the reference fields, okay, for the choice fields and the reference fields, you need to be careful when you're loading the data. It's not like you are simply doing it. Okay. When you open, once the field map is done like this, you can open one of this field map only for the reference fields and choice fields. It will happen, not for other types of fields. Reference fields and choice fields, you need to be careful when you're loading the data. You might end up creating a faulty data in service. Okay, in dev it's fine, but in prod it should not be. So you can see all the reference fields and the choice fields. You can come here. The choice action is create. If it is create, what it will do, let's say there is no such user known as XYZ in the user table because it's referring to the data. Student is a field. This field is mapping to trainee name. In this trainee name, it is referring to user table. Do we have a record known as XYZ? We don't have it. So create it. System will automatically create. So we should not give the chance to the system. So we should give choice action as ignore. When you give ignore, what happens? It will update the whole record. Only this field it will ignore it. This will ignore it. This field it will ignore it. Okay. When you give choice action as reject, what happens? It won't allow you to update this record or create this record only. Reject means. Ignore means, let's say you are updating trainee name as XYZ. Also, I'm updating amount paid as let's say some 25,000. Yeah. Okay. So it will update this 25,000. It won't allow you to update this field because it's a field map. Only this field it won't allow you to update. That is ignore. But reject means it won't allow you to update the whole record only. Is it clear? No. Any doubts here? Yes? No?
No, we just said.
Guys, if you do like this, I won't explain these kind of things. Normally, I won't explain choice action. Understand why I'm telling this? If it is confusing, next time I won't explain these kind of things. Why to do it? So when you give choice action as ignore, it won't happen actually. It won't allow you to create. Normally, we'll most of the times we'll go for ignore only rather than reject.
See one thing, if choice action that's ignored and that field is mandatory whether the record will create.
It will create, no, if it is a UI policy mandatory. Normally we won't use data policy mandatories in our real time. Most of the times very less chances are there. We also have data policy mandatory, but mostly people won't use it. It depends whether you are using UI policy or data policy, and also it depends whether you are updating the record or creating a record. Okay. But if it is data policy mandatory, yes, like what you told was correct. One second. Let me delete the choice, additional choice that got created. See, it got created from the import sets, not by us manually. Now let's try to load the data again. You can see, one second. Let me go to snow batches. Let me clear all this stuff. Okay, pay attention. Now you can see 5 able tutor. Now you can see 7 SNB007. That is batch 26 to 30. Let's change it. We deleted though, but still it will come like that. Okay, let's refresh the page. Now you can see these two records we are going to update with the same data again. I'm giving XYZ and I'm giving 26 to 30. This time what happens? It won't allow you to update because I given the choice action as ignore. Ignore means it won't allow you to create a new record. It will leave it able tutor only. It will leave it as a 21 to 25 only, because if the data exists, then only it will update actually. The data doesn't exist, it should not allow you to update. Okay, let's try to do that. Let's do the load data again. I'm doing the load data again. Let me refresh the page, please. Let's choose the Excel sheet. Downloads. Sheet number is 2. Header row is 3. Let's click on submit. You can just confirm it whether it got created or not. Yes, it got created. Yes, in ITA I set 4. I can run the transform this time. Transform. Let's go to transform history. Total there are 3. It ignored 2. 1 got updated. Okay, I don't know why it got updated, but let's see. Yeah, I know why it got updated, because when I'm opening this record, I changed the status actually. It's mandatory, to change the value of this 21 to 25. I changed the status to training in progress earlier. That's the reason. So you see now, it didn't update it able tutor. It is able tutor only, XYZ. It should update it to XYZ. And also in the 7th record, it should update to 26 to 30. It didn't done that because it doesn't find that record. So instead of creating a foreign record, we'll call the concept as foreign record. So instead of creating those foreign records in the table, especially for the choice fields and the reference fields, it updated the records. Yeah. No, it will ignore it because we kept the choice action as ignore. If you reject, it won't allow you to update the record, hold record only. Okay. Is it clear? No.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So again, I'm telling you for the reference fields and the choice fields in the transform map. Once you done the mapping, so let's say how many choice fields are there here. We have a status, we have batch. For these two fields, okay. Whenever you are creating a transform map, make sure you have a habit. You need to open all the choice fields and all the reference fields. You need to give this choice action as ignore. Why? Because if it is create, let's say status is a choice field. In our let's say if I open any record, there is a status actually. How many statuses are there? One, two, three, five choices are there in the status. So out of these five choices, okay, if the user is giving any of these five choices, it's well and good. But what if the user is not giving any of these five choices and they are giving some faulty data? Instead of giving five choices, they are giving something like some different choice which was not existing in service now actually. Okay. It might be a typo from there and also it will forcefully create a record. It will forcefully create a record in the choice table. Then it will show the choice. To ignore that, we need to use choice action as ignore. Then what it will do, it will update the whole record. Only this field it won't allow you to update it because it's not there. If you keep reject, it won't allow you to update the whole record. Okay, that's what choice action will do. I hope this is clear. It will be by default set to create, guys. It will be by default set to create. The same thing applies to the reference fields also. Okay. This normally people won't ask, but it's better you know the concept. That's the reason I'm telling. Okay, any doubts here? Anyone? Yes, no. In whole import sets,
Yeah.
again I'm giving a brief. I given you the notes actually for the import sets. You can see there. Import sets are used to import the data from the external data sources. I mean, external data source means like Excel is a data source from where you are loading the data. They Excel. Mostly they'll give Excel only, guys. Not mostly. 99% of the times people will give the Excel because that only we can understand easily. They won't give you CSV or XML, but it will also support CSV XML. Uh, Also, we have few integration setup like JDBC, HTTP, FTP. So we will load the data uh, into source table or a staging table or an import set table. They'll call it in with the three names actually. I'm telling it as a temporary table, but normally you can expect these three names. Import set table they can call it as staging table or they can call it as source table. All three refers to the same thing. Once the data got loaded into the source table, then we'll establish a relationship between the source table and the target table and we'll load the data. Today, actually, I thought of covering a new concept known as update set. And from tomorrow, I thought of going for a coding scripting for client script. But I don't know whether I can able to do it today or not because 8:50 I need to drop off. We have an interview at 9. I'll try to see at least how much I can cover. Okay, let's see. So there is a concept known as update set. Okay, this is import set. What import set? Why we use import set? At least the topic you should know. Why? What is the reason we use import sets? Data source. You can call it as data source. Okay. Import set is a topic. If someone asks you what is import set, you need to know import set is used to import the data into service using different data sources like Excel, XML, CSV. You can tell these three things, that's fine. But it will also support other things. I given you that image in the notes. You can refer to that. And transform map is different topic again. They'll ask you transform map. Transform map is map the fields from the source table to the target table, and we can you know move the data from the source table to the target table. That's what it will do. They might ask you what is coalesce. You need to tell it's a unique field. If the coalesce is set to true, it will update the record. If the data exists, it will update the record, or else it will create a new record. Okay. Now, imagine we have a. I'm going to Amazon.in. Okay. They want to change this logo. They want to change this logo. Amazon people want to change this logo. What they'll do? Will they do it here directly? They want to change this logo, guys. Are you getting? No.
They can't change it from here.
Then where they'll do it?
Testing
Yeah.
environment.
What? They can't change it here in the sense like, okay, they'll have a backend portal, but they'll do it here only, Amazon.in only, right? Or no? Not only this, not only Amazon, you take any of these things, guys. Doesn't matter. Let's say SBI is there. Okay, now they want to change this logo or they want to change this color. Let's say, log into this. They want to change this whole branding, this color. They won't do it here. Where they'll do that?
Every changes will be made in developer environment and push it to forward testing and production.
Yeah, they can't directly do it here. Why? The reason is it's a production. Production in the sense, see, production is nothing but where people are utilizing their services. Whatever they have developed, whatever they have built, the people will start utilizing the services. So in this case, I as an end user, this is an SBI, internet banking. So not only me, whoever is having account in the SBI, they all can log in here. They can give the username, password, and they can use it. They can log in it here. The same applies here on Amazon.in. Let's say it might be very small change, but can be any change. Any small change also. You are 100% not, you are 200% sure. If you do it, it won't impact anything. But still, people won't do it directly in the production because it's a production and there are a lot of end users who are utilizing it. Amazon.in is not only used by me, there are a lot of users. There is a lot of traffic on this website actually. Lot of people will be using this website, not only me. The same applies here also. The same will apply to the service now also. Let's say you need to create a table in the snow batches table. You need to create a table in the snow batches table. Sorry, you need to create a table in service now. You won't directly do it in the production environment. So what do you mean by production? I'm so sorry. I got yeah, I got kicked out. Yes. So, see, I'm not telling you what is production, but normally what happens, guys, in your real time, this is a PDI, personal developer instance, which was created by us. But what happens in your real time when you really start working in the service now? Okay, once you got selected in some company and you entered into the company, what happens? You'll have three types of environments for sure. Depending on your project, you might have four, five, six environments also. But the concept is same. What it will do? We have a developer environment. What the developer environment will do? Let's imagine I'm working for an SBI project. Okay. So I have a URL known as sbidev.service-no.com. Instead of this number, I'm giving an example. I'll have sbidev.service-no.com. That is my developer environment for that project. Okay. And I'll have one more environment that is SBI test or QA.service-no.com. Okay. And I'll have one more environment that is sbi.service-no.com. That is my production. So why we have three different environments? See, it can be more also, depending on your customer, depending on your project. But the concept is same. So in the production, what happens? I told you, Amazon.in is a production environment where every people will be. For Amazon, it's a production environment where a lot of people like me go there and visit that website and they'll do the shopping or whatever it is. So when you directly do the changes here, when you're directly doing the changes in the Amazon, let's say changing this logo, you end up, let's say there might be a short risk. Instead of changing this logo, when you're changing this logo, it changes the whole color also. So on this whole page, whatever you're seeing, the background color, whole background color turn to black. When it whole page turn to black, what happens? You can't see any image here because the whole background color changes to black. Only few images you can see. The whole website will be crashed, right? Crashed in the sense people will start reporting. We can't see anything. The sale is there, something like that. So when you do a small change here, you might think, okay, it might not impact anything, but that is an assumption, right? When you are changing this logo with the code or with the configuration, you might end up doing something wrong. So they don't. If you do it directly on the production, what happens? Lot of people will be using it in real time. So instead of that, we have an environment known as developer environment. First, you will develop it in the developer environment, whatever it is. That can be anything, just to create a table or changing a logo, anything. You will develop in the developer environment. Those things you will move to the test environment. Test environment, not to the prod. What is this test environment? Test environment is nothing but people who are testing. Testing people will be testing that particular scenario, whatever it is, whatever you have developed as a developer. There will be testing team. Few times there won't be testing team. Customer themselves will test it. They'll test it thoroughly whether there is anything that got missing or anything that is impacting. Then they'll give you a sign off. Then you can move to the prod environment. When you move to the prod environment, people will use it in real time. So let's say I need to change this logo. They won't directly do it here. They'll do it in the developer environment first. Then they'll move to test. Testing team will thoroughly test it because there is a lot of impact if you do small change also. Once they do the testing, they'll give you the sign off. Then only you can move to the prod. Clear? No. Are you guys getting everywhere?
Yes, Ajay.
Okay. So that's how it will work. So let's say, for example, I need to create a table. You want to create a table, you can't directly do it in the prod. Since it's a PDI, we are doing it, but normally in real time, you won't directly do it in the production environment. Not only table, anything, any small change also. That can be anything that you work in your day-to-day life. It should follow these things. You'll create a, you will first develop in the developer, then move to test, then move to prod. In few For few customers, you have acceptance also. After doing the things in developer environment, you'll move to testing environment. Testing environment, testing department will test it. Then you'll move to acceptance. Acceptance is once the testing department tested it properly and you move to acceptance, the customer will check it in the acceptance before moving to prod. Then you can move to prod. See, it depends. See, the number of count might increase. They might have 5 environments or 6 environments or 8 environments. It doesn't matter, but the process is same. How are we going to move these changes from developer environment to test environment, test to QA? I mean, sorry, test to prod. How are we going to move these changes? Move the things what you have done using a concept known as update set. Okay, let's imagine I'm asking you to create a table. When I'm asking you to create a table in PDI, it's fine, you'll create it directly. But let's imagine you are in a project now. You need to create a table, simple table. That can be anything. So you'll create a table in developer environment. Again, you won't go to test environment and again you don't start creating it again, right? You're simply doing the same work for twice. Why do you do that? So what you do when you're creating a table in the developer environment, before creating it only, you'll create an update set. There is a concept known as update set. What this update set will do, it will capture all the configurations and the customizations in the form of XML. Okay, in the form of XML. How an XML format will look like, I'll show you. It will look like something like this. It will look something like this. Each field and everything will be available like this. So whenever you try, okay, whenever a story comes to you, first thing you'll do is you'll create an update set in your developer environment. Then once you're done with your update set creation, you'll start working on your story. That is to create a table or whatever it is. You'll create a table. Once the table got created, again you'll go to the update set. You'll mark it to complete. Then you'll move to the higher environment. Is it clear? No.
Yes, Ajay.
Unfortunately, today I can't tell you what is updated, and actually that's the reason I opened 2 environments. I thought of creating something here, some table here, 303337. Then I thought of moving it to this environment. What is this? 210604. But I can't show it today because I'm running out of time. Because at 9 I need to drop off in another 5 minutes. So tomorrow we'll see that updates set concept. Updates it. I hope you understood what is updates it first. Why we use updates it at least. Why we use updates it, guys? Anyone? Hmm?
For migration from one environment to the
What you are migrating there?
instance migration.
Instance. Right? Instance is nothing but this whole environment is known as instance actually. This whole environment will be considered as instance. Are you migrating everything in this that is there in this environment?
No, the changes made.
Yeah.
No,
The changes what
changes
you have
made.
done, you are migrating from one environment to another environment. Okay. To push the changes that you have developed or configured from one environment to another environment, we'll use this updated concept. We'll cover it tomorrow. Also, we'll cover some basics of scripting. If possible, you everyone please see what is equal to, what is double equal to, and what is triple equal to, and come to class tomorrow. Also, you see what is if, what is else if. Okay, I'm just noting down here. If you have time, you just see, or else I'll explain it also. What is if, else if. Equal to, double equal to, triple equal to. Okay, just have a look and come tomorrow. Uh, yeah, if you have time, just have a look on that so that you'll understand it better, easily, simply. Anyway, tomorrow I won't tell that, but maybe after day after tomorrow, something like that, we can come to the topic. Okay. Anyone having any doubts in the import checks? Updates it, I'll show you tomorrow practically. What do I mean updates it and all. But you have any doubts in the import checks that you're unable to, just to summarize what we have discussed till now, everything is important from UI policy concept base. UI policy runs on the client side, data policy runs on the server side. UI policy is used to make a field mandatory, read only, and visible, whereas data policy is used to make a field mandatory and read only. We cannot control the visibility. Every data policy can be converted to UI policy, but in order to convert a UI policy to data policy, we should match three conditions. That is, visible should be leave alone, global should be true, run script should be unchecked. This is the difference, the whole picture of UI policy and data policy. Then we have import sets. Why we use import sets? To import the data into service now via external data sources like Excel, XML, or CSV. So we have a concept known as transform map. What it will do, it will map the fields from the source table to the target table, and it will help us to move the data from source table to the target table. When we are doing this, we have a concept known as collace. It's a unique field that is available in the transform map. It will check if the data already exists. It will update the record, or else it will create a new record. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Is Trivendra from this batch? Trivendra, are you from this batch, man?
Yes,
Is he there? You have it at 9 p.m. or 9 a.m.
it's 9 a.m.
Now only, right?
Yes, correct.
Sure. Yeah. We also have choice action. Choice action is nothing but yeah. We have only for the choice fields and the reference fields you need to worry. There we have three types of choice actions, that is create, ignore, and reject. Create means if the record is not existing, if there is a choice you are giving which was not present in service now, it will create a choice record in the choice table. To ignore it, we can keep it as ignore, so that that field will not be updated or create. That field will not be updated when you are creating a record or updating a record, but other fields will update or create. Reject. What happens in reject case? Not only that field, other fields will also be rejected. I mean, the whole record will be not allow you to create or insert or update the record. That is reject. Updates it we'll see tomorrow. Okay. Do you have any questions till now? Any topic, not only UI policy, data policy, and inputs, it's any topic you name it. Do you have any questions till now? Even creating table fields, sections, dependent fields, those things also.
Vijay, about that assignment.
Mhm. Yeah, tell me. In this, oh yeah, you told something, right? Assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that we have Like what doubt you told me? Is it like dynamic me? You're having doubt on that?
Like, yes, yes.
Okay. What the dynamic name will do? Let's say we have a trainee name. Okay. Trainee name is which field? What type of field it is? Trainee name is what type of field it is? Reference field. Okay. So for every reference field, you have an option is dynamic. Is dynamic. Is dynamic. And we have me. Okay. When you run it, what happens? It will check. There are no records actually here, but it will check is there any record. Trainee name is dynamic me. Is dynamic me is nothing but current logged in user. Since it is referring to the user table, only for the user tables it will come. If there is any field that is referring to user table, again I'm telling, if there is any field that is referring to the user table, okay. Again, it's not like you have a field. You also have a field known as let me open any record here. This record, for example. We also have a reference field known as company. You can't give companies dynamic name. It won't work out. Okay. If there is any reference field that is referring to the user record, okay. So this is referring to user record. I'll give, let's say, system administrator. Yeah. Because I was currently logged in as system administrator. You can see. Who am I currently logged in as? I'm currently logged in as system administrator. Okay. So you can see there is an entry here with my name. Okay. I was logged in as system administrator. Also, I given the trainee name as system administrator. Now I'm applying a filter. Trainee name is dynamic me. It will give one record now. Previously, it didn't give any record, but it will give one record. So it will filter trainee name is system administrator. Is dynamic me is nothing but trainee name is a field. Is a operator. System administrator. Is dynamic me means current logged in user. Do you have any records with the current logged in user in the trainee name? It will give that info. Okay. That is dynamic me will refer in this trainee name field. Do you have the current logged in user? Current logged in user is nothing but in this case system administrator. Clear? No.
Clear.
Yes.
Okay. In the same way, we have one of my groups. This will work for the group table, not for the reference to the user table. We have a group field, group table. Let's say if you go to incident table. Okay, let me remove all the filters. We have an assignment group in the incident table actually. If I open any of this record, we have a field known as assignment group that is referring to the group table, not to the user table. Group table. We have 42 groups. Okay. So in this, let's say if I'm giving group is dynamic one of my group, assignment group is dynamic one of my groups. What it will do, if the current logged in user is present in one of these groups, if the system administrator is present in any one of this group, okay, one of this group in the sense in the incident table already there is a service desk group, network group, and all these groups. Let me group by. So in this incident table we have almost 6 groups: database, hardware, network, open space, service desk, software. If current logged in user present in any one of this group, then it will show that records. Let's say for example hardware. Sorry, I'm running out of time. I need to take off. If you didn't understand one of my group, tomorrow I'll explain it, guys. Okay, that part I'll explain it tomorrow. One of my group, after updates it is completed, please remind me. But each dynamic me will refer to that current logged in user. You should be the current logged in user. Only those records will be displayed. Each dynamic me means. Okay. Tomorrow I'll show you what is one of my group. Everyone please drop off from the call. Trivendra, you can stay in the call.
Thanks, Vijay.
Thank you all. Have a nice day.
Okay.